So there are some new resources, some new exercises today that we can look at. There's the one from last time, which is more like the Valley of Logical Despair consistency puzzles, and there's some other ones too that I've given for practice ones that we'll go over, and you can try them out to see how they work. I brought back an old transport puzzle, which is an algorithm puzzle. First of all, are there any questions? Okay, so let me first deal with the tiger puzzle. Here it is. Let's open this with external. Some of you have looked at this and some of you have not, but let me just these are sort of like, questions that using the skills that you've learned from that you should be able to understand and answer. So here's the first trial of this Tigers and True Love. Okay, so you're faced with two doors. One door says, in this room, so here's door one, and here's the door one sign. In this room, there is one of your true loves, and in the other room, there is a tiger. Let's look and see whether this sign is true or false in each of these possible situations. So that in situation one, there's tigers behind both of the doors. So that this is obviously does not correctly describe situation, so that's false. And this one also does not, because it says in this room, that is in the first, it's on the first door, is a true love. Well, that's false. But here that's true, and in the other room is a tiger. So the only one that's true is this third one, because although there's a true love here, there's not a tiger here. So this is the only one that's true. Door two says, in one of these rooms there sits one of your true loves, and the other there is a tiger. Well, so that's sort of like tiger and true love, tiger and true love. So this is false, true, true, false. The third statement from the evil jailer that's putting you through these trials says one of the statements is true and one is false. Well, since the jailer never lies, they're like a visionary, although they're evil. This is false, this is false, and this is true, and this is true. So you have to have the jailers, you know that there, so that means only the second and third rows are possible. And he's saying that, let me see, oh, well, he says there's one of the statements is true and one of them is false. Well, actually, that's not true. It's, it's only, yes, it's false here because you have false, 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 false. So that's false. It's true, true. So that's also false. So the only consistent row that has the jailer making a true statement is this one. So you know that this is the required row, and that means you should open door two. Okay, so that's the style, and there's 7 of these. I think some of the later ones, I'm not sure if I corrected them. One or two of the later ones had bugs in them where there was something wrong with them. But anyway, so these are not to be, you don't have to turn these in. This is for your exercise. I mean, you might see one of these on a concept checker demonstration. So but they're learning exercises rather than for a grade exercises. Questions? Bassam?
So I didn't get the last part of that.
Okay.
What should the prisoner do?
Why door two?
You understand these values, right?
Yeah, I understand all 3 columns.
Okay, you understand all 3 columns.
Yeah.
But the evaluation, the fact that, well, the jailer never lies.
Okay.
We can rule out these statements. It's this restriction here that forces you to choose this one. You know, this has to be true. So that means the only possibility is that the door one sign is false, the door sign and the second door is true. Well, the door two sign says in one of these sits a true love and others a tiger, but you don't know which one it is, right? And the
Yeah.
first one says in this room is one of your true loves and the other's a tiger. Well, that's false, right?
Yes. Okay.
So
So
so that the thing
Mhm.
is you know that you should open door true because in this world, since this is the only possible situation, a tiger's behind door one and your true love is behind, or one of your true loves is behind door two.
Okay.
So you choose door two.
Awesome. Okay.
So, and and
Mr.
it works
Wood.
the same way with each one of these. You go through and fill in these. The jailer never lies, and then you go through and do it like that. Joshua.
So can you scroll back up for a bit? For the T in jailer, you got that from P implies Q.
No, it says the jailer's claim is that one of the statements is true and one is false.
Oh, now I see.
So it's this content. See here,
Oh, now I
it's
see.
false, false, true, 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 false, false. So this is the only one that has one false and one true.
Oh, now I see. I thought you were talking about logic rules.
Yeah. There's no the claims are just about the world. So they about this situation in terms of tigers and true love. So you don't have to. There's nothing more devious or more deep happening.
Thanks for the clarification.
Okay. Um, Now, the second thing is here's an impossible question. It's a very simple question. Let's say I posed to you the question, will you answer this question in the negative? That is, with a no response. Now, you could avoid the question by saying, "Oh, well, I'm going to respond with yay or nay or some other word." But if you actually answer this question rather than avoiding it by picking on the form of the answer, then you must choose between option A, yes, meaning I do answer with a no, or option B, no, I do not answer with a no, and there's no option C. So, so it seems like a normal question, right? Are you going to answer this question by saying no, where you can only answer with yes or no? So that's what, so puzzle over that, and there's some analysis here. And so the question here is, can you answer this question? Um, can you answer this question without stating a paradox? So that's the problem. Anyway, I just wanted to alert you to that. And then there's another one of these logic puzzles, which we can go over, or I can let you work on. It shows you a little different, okay? There's 5 claims, and the first one's at least, then exactly, at least, exactly, and at least. And you want to assign truth values to these 5 claims so that they are non-paradoxical, right? But here, this word consistent should be non-paradoxical. If this is possible, which of the claims are true, if any, and which are false, if any, in your assignment? So this is like those other 3 puzzles, but it's like a slightly different because it mixes up the at least and exactly. So that's one thing to work on. And because we've actually covered all the material that could be on the concept check. And maybe I should show you that in a second. In fact, let me do that now so I can show you what's on the concept check, because I think the best thing to do after this is to let you work on asking questions about that, or going and working on some of these puzzles. Okay, so let's see what. Oh, what was I? Oh, yes. Why did I? Oh, yes, I wanted to show you what, okay. Yes, here it is. I've forgotten for a second what I was continuing to do. Okay, so here is concept check 1. But I actually don't want to show you the questions. Oh, I need to show this and look at this in the studio so we can just see the titles of the questions. Okay, so arithmetic, Guido, Python assignments, Python expressions, for loops, while loops, the Python virtual machine, a question, paper Python. Then here's the last ones are about logic, implications, truth tables, equivalence, logical equivalence, and tautology or contradiction. So there's there's multiple questions in each of these sections, but they all deal with one of these topics. Or sometimes there's only one. So you have one segment on that arithmetic thing, 2 on Guido, 4 on logic, and then the remaining ones, 1, 2, 3, 5 on Python. So that gives you an idea of what's on the concept check, which you might want to review. It doesn't go and do all the stuff that we could do in, it's just the basic concepts and logic. Bassam, question.
Do we have to turn those in?
Excuse me?
Do we have to submit those, like turn those in?
Oh, what'll happen is that at 4 o'clock today, this concept check will open up. And you'll see the directions will be available. Will tell you that it's timed and that you have, I think, 5 hours. And make sure that you can see the minus signs. And then you may start at any time after the check is released and before 11:30 p.m. on midnight of the due date, which is this coming Sunday. But if you start it like at 11:30, you only have 30 minutes. You don't have 5 hours. You only have 5 hours up until 12 o'clock. Then, so if you started at 11 o'clock, you have 1 hour. If you start at 10 o'clock, you have 2 hours. Okay. And you can log out and log in, but the clock still ticks. Okay. And if you try to start the test, it'll first give you a question. Are you sure you're ready to start? Because to make sure that you didn't click it by accident. Okay. And then you can save your answers. And you can consult notes, the textbook. The only restriction is you can't talk to other people or do it with other students or smart people or anyone else that you happen to know. It all has to be your work. Okay. And then so what's going to happen is then that you will open the exam. They're all automatically graded. You'll know the answers immediately. And that actually poses a problem because let's say that you get the first 2 wrong. That's sort of discouraging. So you need to I would advise you to do this. Save your answers. Answer all the questions, save your answers, and then go back, like go off, have lunch, take a break, then come back and review the answers and submit them. The second thing that people make mistakes on is like not forgetting to submit some of the answers. And it will tell you, it'll say it's saved but not submitted. So you have to go and make sure that there's no questions off the bottom of the page or whatever that you haven't, that you've left blank or that you've saved the answer but not submitted. The danger about submitting them right away is you think, oh, I know this one, it's right, and then you get it wrong, and that can be discouraging and you give up early. But the point is that then you miss out on the feedback. The point of the exam is to give you feedback about how you're doing. So then if you need to take another version, you're trying to demonstrate that you've mastered the material to yourself and to me. And so it's just a matter of whether you've done that or not. And so if you get like a 50% out of 100, then you might want to take a second version. And you can see it, as you saw, I think I have lots of other versions of this exam, of this concept check. Tanya, do you have a question?
Yeah, so it's due date tonight, right?
It starts at, I think it's released at 4 o'clock. We have office hours from 2:30 to 3:30, and so it starts right after office hours.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. There is one more thing that I wanted to, there's a transport puzzle here that it's about algorithms, but it's a little complicated. It's got a lot of weird restrictions. A family's trying to cross a river to escape from lava. Okay, so that there's a bunch of restrictions, and the problem is it's hard to actually do the puzzle and know if you're right without making mistakes. So there is, in fact, a site. There are various, this puzzle has been known for a long time as a job interview question in Japan, as sort of your logical abilities or something. I don't know if it's still used there. It just became famous for that. Now, so this link is a link to an animation of the puzzle that allows you to solve the puzzle by playing the puzzle. So now here, it goes to this search, and if you wait a while, it should start. Now, it's a flash animation, so you, you know, um, having read the directions in Japanese, you come over here and click the big button here, and then you can make it full. Now, it may be that your computer will prevent this from running, so you may have to give it you may have to give it a security allowance if you want to. But once you do this, then what you do is you can click. I can show you the rules. You can click on, see, there's a mother, a father, 2 daughters, 2 sons, a police officer, and a thief. So you need an adult. Like, for example, if you click on the adult, whoa, that's a little loud. Let me see if I don't know how to return that down a little bit. Okay, then you click on either of these red. That's really loud. Maybe I can't turn the volume down. Let's see if I can get that. Okay, so the problem is that you can't leave the mother alone with the 2 sons. So you click on the father to go off. You can't leave the mother can't go across because you can't leave the father alone with the 2 daughters. It's a really weird family. You can't leave the police officer alone with a thief. However, you can put 2 people on, but they can't go across. They need an adult to operate the raft. So the puzzle is to get them all across the river without, and not back. So you anyway. So that's, so if you are interested in this, you can try to solve this logic puzzle, or this sort of algorithm logic puzzle by playing it on this site, as long as you can figure out to let it actually play. There's the scheme, the description, the rules, and a sheet are on the resources, and that's sort of it for the puzzles for this week and for the activities. And so I thought what I would do is, since we don't have any new content, was there's stuff for the Sudoku puzzles, and oh, Tanya, you said you're working from 4 o'clock until 10 o'clock. You mean you're working from, well, that's you're working from, it opens up at 4 o'clock today, but you could take it on Saturday or Sunday. It's open the whole week. You have 5 hours, but you can choose when the 5 hours is. You don't have to start it at 4 o'clock. You could start it at 10 o'clock tomorrow morning, or 12 o'clock, or start it at 6 o'clock tomorrow evening, or at 6 o'clock on Sunday evening. Does that make sense? Assam.
So the concept check is due today. Sorry, it's
No,
due Monday.
it's released today, but it has to be submitted by 12 midnight on Sunday night.
So we only have 2 days of.
Well, you have today and you have this evening and
Yep.
Saturday and Sunday. Now, it isn't designed to take 5 hours. Almost everyone finishes it in like an hour. So most people don't need, like, maybe an hour and a half. I mean, if you could take longer because you could look things up and check them. So if you want to, you might want to, like, it takes a lot of, it takes some, if you can go through it very quickly and make mistakes, or you could go through it slowly, save your answers, go back and check them carefully, and make sure that you don't make any errors that just because you went too quickly. Does everyone understand the idea?
Yes, excuse me, Professor. So due date on 11:59 Sunday night, right?
Excuse me?
So the due date is on 11:59 on the Sunday.
Yes, in other words, it's
Oh, okay.
you have to submit your answers by basically 12 o'clock. It says 11:30, but I think you have a grace period of 30 minutes. So it's essentially 12 o'clock on Sunday night.
Okay, thank you so much.
Yes, and you probably want to start it before then. You don't want to start it like at 11 o'clock thinking you have 5 hours because you only have 1 hour if you start at 11 o'clock on Sunday. I mean, you could do it like Saturday night at 11 and it would go until 4 in the morning.
Maybe I will do that.
Yeah. Or you could start at like 2 in the morning and go to 6 in the morning or 7 in the morning and really tire yourself out. Okay, so if there's, what I'll do is I'll at least divide us up into some breakout rooms so that you can answer questions more simply, or I can answer your questions with you feel more comfortable doing that. Let me see. Just a second.